Islam, peaceful greetings to the world. How is everybody? And I got my brother Benjamin here with me. How are you, bro?
Islam. I'm peaceful, bro. I'm peaceful. How you doing?
Man, I'm all as well, bro. Just grinding to get this, presentation together for today.
It's all about the grind. I'd be a cliche like that. Maybe we grind too much.
And it's like a bear, about to hibernate. I'm about to eat and grind and then rest and come back to it.
Eat, sleep, repeat.
That eclipse energy kind of got me like low key on some what's his name from Chappelle's show? Oh, Tyrone, yeah.
Tyrone Biggums.
You know what I'm saying? You start reading, like, you look up, it's like 4 o'clock. You're like, dang, where did time even go?
Can I get that cash? I got some earnest run.
But all right, just so for everybody, today is Intuition Mondays, and today's topic is the eclipse, the Gemini-Sagittarius eclipse axis. And when we say this, we're referencing to Gemini being what's known by the 3rd house and Sagittarius as the 9th. So, a lower and higher nature. And, Brother Benjamin came through and was just like higher learning all Sagittarius season. So I'm like, we got this eclipse. That's not only like look at this one, let's look back at the past one just to kind of see how we came and what's coming up, and, that past eclipse was June 10th of 1441, 2021, and the upcoming eclipse will be December 4th. So, kind of roughly maybe about 6 months, since then. Let's see. Brother Benjamin, I think we actually got to start off with me. So, let's see, you want to start with, you want to go back to the Gemini one, or would you like to start off with the one coming up?
We'll start with Gemini to see where we're coming from and where we're headed. So like whatever communication during the eclipse, how can we use that communication in our higher learning, whether that be detrimental conversation or quote unquote higher learning conversation. So like what were you speaking about, what were you thinking about past, lunar eclipse with communication, because it being Gemini and see short travels, things like that, contracts maybe. Things of that. So how would you take that and move that to your 9th house of higher learning or Sagittarius eclipse? Drake would say, mind in one place, heart in another. So right now your mind and your heart are one or together. So your mind is in front of your body, now your heart. So we'll see how those energies are manifesting now, previous in June. By you.
All right. So all right, so I'll be covering the first 3 houses and then the reflective houses of that, which would be 7, 8, and 9, and Brother Benjamin has 4 through 6 and 10 through 12. So we're just gonna get this thing started off. Make sure I'm at where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? So first up, we have Santiago, Chile, or some people would say Chile. And, we're going back to June 10th, 2021, 1441 Moorish calendar year. And what we have here is we have Gemini on the rise at 8 degrees and 4 minutes. And Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. So if you look, I don't have anything on it, but you have Mercury here at 20 degrees, 41 minutes retrograde Gemini in the first house. And which I think this will be a good chart. Maybe we'll look up after, or maybe during the live, Brother Benjamin. The ascendant degree was ascendant in Uranus in the U.S. horoscope. That is what the degree for that is. Interesting. And if my memory serves me correctly, I know I'll say that to you. I remember that being talked about. And so I'll just bear a testimony for this. as a time to look at things from two different angles, sharing thoughts and ideas that one usually keeps to self. Social gatherings, short travel, and mental stimulation is soothing and peaceful for the active mind. People could have been getting annoyed by just people being curious, asking questions, a love of learning, new things coming, and just maybe some success with legal action after proving difficult. So yeah, I'll yield for that one, and that was for Santiago, Chile, or Chile, however you would like to pronounce it. So next up, we have Mexico City, or people say it's Mexico. This is for June 10th of 2021. And this was at 05 hours, 52 minutes, and 40 seconds. And we have the Ascendant at 2 degrees, 44 minutes, Gemini, and we still have Mercury in the first house. And so the degree for the Ascendant was, and I'll quote, it was an ambassadorial degree. And so I'll just say for that was maybe there was some diplomat that got accredited through state matters and not through the sovereigns. Others could have been receiving support to achieve, shining. Somebody could have been shining their career, setting goals, and then achieving those goals. Just new beginnings for the physical and the mental. There would have been new doors for success, and there could have been some people that just met some new friends while out just traveling, hanging out in the neighborhood. And I also say for that, there us could have been other people that were laying out a plan to achieve goals for the physical and the mental at this point. I will yield for that one. We'll move on to the next one. You got anything, Brother Benjamin?
No. Oh, maybe would that be ambassador degree? Would that go with Ms. Kamala Harris getting her position or something like that?
Let's see. This was back in June, so maybe we can go look
The
back.
7th house is relationships, so how is she relating to the new role or so? Because there's the government and the people there. If you want to talk about the sun and moon,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was all I was thinking while you were saying that, ambassador. I was like, Kamala Harris was the first quote unquote woman, or not quote unquote woman. I'm about to say black, but quote unquote black woman as head of authorities.
Definitely, we can just go look back and we can check out June 10th and just see if anything happened between those dates. I'm sure we more than likely to find something for that.
Yep.
All right. So, moving on, we are now at Juneau, Alaska, and still rocking on June 10th, and this is 02 hours and 52 minutes and 40 seconds. We have the Ascendant at 23 degrees Taurus, 1 minute. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. So we have Venus here in the 3rd house at 9 degrees, 38 minutes Cancer. And, the degree for the Ascendant, and I'll quote, was patient in toil. And, or AKA just being patient and steady with the grind, if you'd like to say that instead of toil. And there's also, I don't have the chart up for it, but the midheaven for this chart was conjunct Vega. And I'll quote for that as well was high success is promised, statesmen, politicians, persons of importance, end quote. And I will bear testimony for this one as success, victory, and a steady grind, whether by self-employment, properly managing one's own personal finance, or being planted. There could have been frustrations about one's love life and loved ones, was definitely on the mind, and a politician or influential person could have been just giving out some harmonic communication just from about their childhood, referencing back and reflecting on their childhood.
Sure.
I'll yield for that one. So that was for, if I'm saying this correctly, Juneau, Alaska. So next up,
Juneau,
Alaska. I stand corrected. All right. So next, moving on, we are at Oakland, California. Like people say, the Bay. Okay. All right.
Honors to E40. Okay.
Brother Benjamin Sean just pulled up in California. All right.
Okay.
So it's still on June 10th, 2021 Gregorian calendar, 1441 Moorish calendar, and we're at 03 hours 52 minutes and 40 seconds. And here we have Taurus, still on the rise at 15 degrees and 41 minutes, and still being ruled by Venus in the third. And so the degree for this ascendant, and I'll quote, is growth in music. So, and I will bear testimony as growth by means of new habits and daily routines. The home, love life comes to the forefront of the mind and communication. Now, honor is being given to maybe some poets and musicians, and getting to the core of the emotions to better express oneself. And I yield for that. For Oakland. All right, so pulling up, what we see, we pull up next to, we had Honolulu Corporation, Hawaii Republic, and it is still on June 10th, and we had 0 hours and 52 minutes 40 seconds. And what we have here is Pisces on the rise at 22 degrees, 33 minutes. And anciently, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, and modernly, it has been said that it is ruled by Neptune. So we can look at both, as we have Jupiter here in the 12th and Neptune in the 1st. And I will bear testimony for this as reflecting while breathing during solitude balances out the other side of mysteries and illusions pertaining to the self. Communication with the family breaks old limitations from old karma or disagreements. A time to listen to other points of view to straighten out some narrow-mindedness. And I will, yield on that one. And that was for Honolulu, Hawaii. You see anything, Brother Benjamin?
It's a bit of balance in there between this ascendant and the descendant and the midheaven and the IC there. I would say between Jupiter and Virgo and what's that, top Sagittarius?
Indeed.
Yeah, so like higher learning has got to be the vibe, or something pertaining to travel, something higher thought, communicating that. Yeah. Organizing higher thoughts from institutions. So balance what you hear. So now maybe when we delineate for the Sun and Sagittarius, we'll probably be speaking on the organization of the higher thinking to put us where we are now. So we're clear on how we're moving into the next month. But that's all I can see right now.
Let's see, you can say like expanding in private to go after one's dreams and imagination in public.
Yeah. Communicating that in the home, then taking it out to the career. Or what is it, on the 10th or the 9th? Or I guess we have it at the 10th. Yeah. So taking that communication. from inside and taking it outside. So but probably me and Brother Sean communicating via phone and then, taking it to live Facebook or YouTube.
Indeed.
Make sure.
Let's see. All right. I think this is my last one for my first half. And we are now, I'm gonna say this correctly. I want to say Papete or Papete, French Polynesia. And we are, still at June 10th, 0 hours, 52 minutes. And we have Aries on the rise at 2 degrees and 30 minutes. And Aries is ruled by Mars. And, you get Mars down there and 29 degrees, 18 minutes, Cancer in the 4th house. Let's see. So, and for the Ascendant degree, I'll quote, a degree of abscesses, literary and poetic, end quote. And the degree for Mars was, I'll quote again, the degree of the avid collector, end quote. So, and I'll bear testimony for this is adventure, reading poetry, or new literature, or meeting an enthusiastic neighbor or sibling could come about. Be wary of those who seem devoted, but on the other side is greedy. Anger, frustration, or a quote unquote pedal to the floor kind of drive could be viewed. And just planning out how to control the anger by means of breath exercising or sports.
Actually.
And I'll yield on that one. That's it for me. And that was for Papete. I'm gonna start whenever we do these. I'm gonna start Googling first and getting like a pronunciation and getting that together.
Yeah, I did that low key for one of them. Can't remember. But yeah, how do you say that?
How many I've ever tongue twisted like what? But
Pate. Okay.
So yeah, all right, Brother Benjamin. I think we all rocking on you, brother.
All right. Guess I'll start this screen share.
All right, so yeah, I think you got to work in double screen share, don't we? If not,
all
right, there you go. Boom, there you go.
Do you need to bring your phone back in, Brother Benjamin?
Oh no, I was doing the countdown right here. I don't know if you guys can. I just stopped that.
2, 1.
There we go. Can you guys see what I see? That's time I did blood, but I didn't know.
You decided to take the phone away from it instead?
Oh, I was gonna share from my iPad. But I can't do it on my phone. I still got my phone up though. Can you hear me? I just get out of this. What is going on? Where did it go? Did it disappear? Wow. I think all my things is what the is it on? Wow. Where did it go? I was just looking at it.
Yeah, I just seen it. It was just up there.
What the?
If I'm not mistaken, like I said, your phone, I think, just logged out, and we had your phone queued for Spotlight, if I'm not mistaken. And your iPad spotted for Spotlight, which is what you're on now. And your phone is what you had shared your report from in the before we went live previously. And that's why I said it's one less device of yours that's on here.
Oh no, but I wanted to share from the iPad because the phone wasn't sharing it this time. That's why I asked, could I call from the iPad?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I didn't want to have 2 cameras and be look cool, I guess.
No, one I would have spotlighted only you and Brother Sean, like I said.
Yeah.
And your other device wouldn't have been known except you would have been screen sharing.
Ah,
Yes.
looks like I'm gonna be free balling this here because all of my information just like disappeared.
Would you like to bring up the other device where you had showed it to me successfully?
That's gone as well. I don't know what's happening right now in my notes on my phone and on my iPad. What is? I was literally had it like on the when you tap the button, you can go back to it and see it. I had it queued up, but I guess I'll do it from here and just free ball it. Yeah. If I could, I'll just call from my phone and look from the messages from me and Brother Sean because I have the charts there, but they're not edited because I had them edited here. That's okay.
I can we can freestyle it, Brother Benjamin. I can just pull back up my screen share and you can just go from those charts if that assists you.
Oh yeah, that's fine. They can see it. They can like see it. I just talk. I'll just stop my screen share. That really.
All right, this line. There you go, Brother Benjamin.
See it better. There we go. All right. We have June 10th, 2021, Thursday, 2200 hours, 52 minutes, 40 seconds for Wellington, New Zealand. On the rise, we have Pisces, 4 degrees, 1 minute. And for that degree, I had delineated here. Facile, ingenious mind. And you have the fixed stars Deneb and Adigid, Adige, and Cygni. And the ruling planet for Pisces is Jupiter, located in the 12th, and the eclipse is happening in the 4th house.
Adige, I think some people will put it as
Adige. I stand corrected. Adige, fixed star. The eclipse is happening in the 4th house of home there, so your mind and your body again will be in one, communicating things opposite to pertain to your career. So you would take what you're speaking and take that and travel mentally outside, of your mind and materialize that via internet, via storefront, via side of the street, whatever it is. You'll be taking what you used to do, which is the South Node, the quote unquote not so good habits, and take those and to the 10th of what you should be doing. So I'll yield on that. That's why. Well, if you see anything else, Brother Sean?
Just that part of fortune is like right there with the Ascendant, and then you got Jupiter.
I read about that part right of fortune in the 12th.
Just looking at that, so that's
it's like seeing the world as one. Like everything is separate, but you see all the separatism as one. Because I have part of fortune in the 12th house as well, and I read it. So that's basically you're looking at things as a whole, although there are many things. So kind of like what Noble Drew was saying, we are all prophets. So through each prophet, you can see the gold line in between all of them. No one is bigger than anyone. The Chicago Bulls, just like the Detroit Pistons, because they all play basketball. The underlining is they play basketball. It's not like, oh, he did this. Like, no, they hoop. Buddha do this, Jesus. No, they have humanity. Like that's all that is. But I yield. Here we go for Suva, Fiji Suva. All right, June 10th, 2021, Thursday, 2200 hours, 52 minutes, 40 seconds, which is 11:52. 40 seconds post meridian, I would say. You have Pisces on the rise again, 2 degrees, 9 minutes, and you have the ascendant ruling planet in the 12th, Jupiter, once again, the expansion god, or I'll say god like that, or deity of expansion, higher learning, things of that nature. Not too big on the details, but details could be for the Virgo and a partner or a friend you have. But we'll go down to the fourth house again for Fiji. Super, you guys will have your eclipse here. You have the sun and the moon 19 degrees, 47 minutes. Opposite the 10th house. Once again, I'm communicating whatever, things that are not important. You communicate those to the side and you bring what you need to prosper in your career via, it's the winter time's coming up. So I'm assuming you're gathering things for your loved ones, gifts, maybe like getting food as well. Venus retrograde is coming up. So you could be not like hoarding food, but, stacking up on your supplies. If you're in up north, you're kind of probably getting, or down south, I would say, getting wood, things of that nature. So, be safe doing that, I would say, but keep your mind and your heart, in one, like this eclipse is following the eclipse. So it's an example of, always stand in unison with self when, it's entering the public 10th house, things of that nature. But I would yield on that. Unless you have anything else, Brother Sean. I'm trying to find like
feel that, bro.
Of the hundreds of fixed stars he gave us.
I was like, ding, 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 ding. Like, oh my God.
Like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna have to pick a few of these to go over. All right, but yeah, here we go. Guam, Dedido.
The Dedo, maybe.
Dedo. Yeah, we probably should definitely look at the words. But Guam, Didio, June 10th, 2021, another Thursday, 2052, 40 seconds. And Capricorn is on the rise, 19 degrees, 48 minutes. And the delineation for that will be Pluto South Node. So on South Node there in the 5th house, and it's conjunct the sun and the moon, and the sun is conjunct the moon, giving the eclipse in the 5th house for Guam Dido, the house of creativity, the house of children, the house of making children, opposite the house of the group, via internet, things of that nature. So whatever you could be creating within the group or via family, which is still group, the people on your job, if you're basically in a sports event, things of that nature, y'all could be going over plays and strategies of how to, win the game on the opposite team. If you travel, it's a away game, things of that nature, make sure you're weeding out the BS stuff that was, I guess, helping you lose, and take that higher learning of that, to implement it to a dub, whether that's like, astrology, jurisprudence, flipping burgers, walking across the street, making sure you look both ways, just, mind and body in unison. So, if you're like on your phone and you take a step out and you cross the street, you get smacked by a car, that wasn't necessary higher learning there. So using your higher learning by having your mind and your body in one, so you can stay here and do things. I'll yield. We use Rover's fund. All right, Moresby Port, June 10th, 2021, Thursday, 2052, 40 seconds. We have Aquarius on the rise there, 0 degrees, 38 minutes. And that is the homicide degree, but no doom and gloom. Could be like homicide of like, not uplifting thoughts, because there technically is no death. So we're here to, learn these lessons and drop this flesh and pick up another and learn the lessons that we didn't learn. So we'll find Saturn here, the ruler of those lessons need to be learned in the 1st house retrograde. So you could be taking yourself and how you relate to yourself and retroactively thinking, I wouldn't say on the internet, but you could be thinking futuristic things. How could your future be handling things? Because Aquarius deals with technically with future and futuristic things. We get on the internet and we time travel this way and time travel that way. So, or you could be changing yourself on the internet, or, thinking about revamping your website or taking your website down, or, taking yourself somewhere to, get yourself together. With this eclipse in the fifth house again, you could be recollecting on your creativity, which is not bad. You could be like, sit back and declare your computer, things like that. Yeah.
Let's see. I was like, I'm wondering what somebody create after feeling like writer's block. Maybe they feel like I had some writer's block back then. But, Sun and Luna, at a separating trine with Saturn. So, limitation of self, writing, communicating in the fifth. So, I'll say that.
I'll read the fixed star Brother Sean had for Debido, Guam. You have the South Node conjunct Aldebaran, and Aldebaran is the nature of Mars, violent death.
Might be Aldebaran. I want to
Aldebaran. Aldebaran. Aldbaran. Aldebaran. Maybe.
The Baron. Barn. Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, but it was conjunct the South Node, and the fixed star Aldebaran is the nature of Mars, violent death. But as we said before, there is no physical death, so there could be a very aggressive mental death. Like, hey man, forget that. I'm not doing that anymore. Like, no, my mind is fixed here. It's over with. Sometimes you're gonna kind of have to be aggressive, but not like really aggressive, just to, make sure you stand on what you're doing, because it's a fixed star, so you have a fixed mind, but it doesn't have to be like violent, like lashing out violent. You could be just aggressively, I don't know how to say this without being like, I guess, violent in thinking, but not harmful. It just be dangerously in tune with what type deal. But ultimately ruined by folly or pride. So once again, like, how you could be thinking, your pride could be altering how you're thinking. So you could be a great person, but how you use your attributes could be your downfall, so that violent death could be your pride or your life that you made for yourself, so be careful. You in Morse Port, not to go overboard, just step back, but make sure that what you're saying is sound and you're standing on what you're standing for, and it's for a good cause. It gives honor, intelligence, eloquence, steadfastness, integrity, popularity, courage, Pharisee, a tendency to sedition, a responsible position, public honors, and gain of power and wealth through others. But its benefits seldom prove lasting, and there is also the danger of violence and sickness. So with it getting cold, make sure in the South, you're wrapping up, things like that. You're going into hot, cold places, make sure your attire is proper, because you don't want to go into the quote unquote fiscal new year with ill health, cloggy nose, dry mouth, things of that nature. Not a good thing. But I yield on that if you want to.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh wait, I'll speak on the eclipse happening in the sixth house of service. So mind and body together, that would be one. In Gemini, so whatever you could be working on health-wise. So it's ironic or not ironic, because nothing is ironic. We're speaking about health, and Aldebaran is dealing with violence and sickness. So service yourself, go get a checkup, things of that nature, or make sure if you're checking up on yourself that you're not, doing nothing that you're not capable of. So, you got a cut or something that's kind of deep. It wouldn't be wise to try to self-stitch, probably call a significant other or someone to like travel you to some place where they can take care of you and service you and get you back to health. I'll yield. Oh, this is Jakarta, Indonesia, Jakarta.
Yeah.
Jakarta. 22 degrees, 19 minutes Sagittarius on the rise. And the ruling planet of Sagittarius again is Jupiter there in the third house of communication, opposite the house of higher learning. And we're speaking about higher learning, and we have the luminary for higher learning reflecting the house. So right now, I guess we could be learning within an institution. Well, not right now, June 10th, you could have been communicating via institution, whether it been like church, a school, maybe, you know, in a park where you gather up a few people, things of that nature, since the building or things are kind of vacant at the moment because of sickness. But make sure you're taking those thoughts and those communications, and when you go into the ninth house of higher learning, that, you know, it's beneficial to you and others, and it will transfer to your career. So all communication of higher learning will definitely be always a plus for, you know what I'm saying, ascension. And we'll go to the sixth house where the eclipse is happening again, house of service, reflecting the house of undoing. So, you know, you take care of yourself. And then within maybe your home, you know, you can be doing breath work, you know, teas, things of that nature, resting, but not being lazy. But during the winter times in the South, I know things can kind of slow down, but make sure during those slow times you're being progressive. Just with the South Node there as well. So you want to take those quote unquote bad habits or regular habits and switch that around, you know, and try to, like, you know, stay off your phone for like 5 minutes, you know, instead of like 10, like we try to do, you know. Don't try to do nothing too crazy too fast, because you can't just go cold turkey on anything. Everything takes, you know, a degree. So like the sun moves a degree every day, technically. And we try to do everything in 1 to 2 minutes or whatever. But I'll yield on that part for Indonesia, Jakarta.
Let's see. Oh, wow. We are back to me. All right. So we're at Hong Kong, China. You know, it's still June 10th. We're at 18 hours, 52 minutes, 40 seconds. We have Sagittarius on the rise at 17 degrees, 28 minutes. You know, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and we have Jupiter at 2 degrees, 1 minute. Pisces in the third house. And for the ascendant degree, I'll quote a degree of matter in transition, heat, flame, homicidal. So I'll bear testimony, and could have been a time where someone was feeling comfortable or wanted to feel comfortable having a partner. They could have been seeking out love, partnerships, or maybe even planning about going into holy matrimony. You know, a discovery of matter, to heat or flame, and dreams about expanding the neighborhood or teaching the siblings. Mysteries. And I'll yield for that one, and that was for Hong Kong. Corporation China, you know, and it's for June 10th. So
the Manchurians. Yeah.
So next up we should have moving to the 8th house, and I will say that for well, I know I discussed it with you, Brother Benjamin, but we usually go through all the 12 houses, but when we get to the next portion of our presentation, you'll see why there might be a missing house or some of them all in different spots. So I will say that just for a heads up. All right, so next up, we are in typed in wrong here at the top. So Kabul, Afghanistan, you know, still June 10th, 2021 Gregorian calendar, and with 15 hours, 22 minutes, 40 seconds. We have the ascendant at 4 degrees, 29 minutes. Anciently, Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Modernly, it has been said to be Pluto. So, you know, we have Mars at 29 degrees, 18 minutes, Cancer in the 9th house. And Pluto is here at 26 degrees, 23 minutes, retrograde in the 3rd house. And the spirit testimony for this is avid collector, metaphysical mysteries, creating joint ventures, fighting for philosophy, ideas, and the underdog, drive to higher knowledge, being smart about conflicts, and stimulating the mind by just being a free spirit and just being. So I wrote for that. Even little concepts. All right, so I'll yield for that one. So Next up, we have I will say Karachi, Pakistan. Karachi. All right. So we have Scorpio on the rise at 5 degrees 14 minutes, and as previously stated for Kabul, we still have Mars, ruling Scorpio. I'll just say for this, death and rebirth, family inheritance. Someone could have had, conversations around this time about just deeper meanings of life, or something to get their mind jogging off of daily life worries and stress. And just being careful when it comes to letting people handle affairs when it comes to home loans and assets, spirituality and occult knowledge being studied.
I'll read I'll add to, I've seen the past 3 charts, and I've seen the part of fortune in the first house. I'll read the explanation of the part of fortune, so I've seen it there.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
With astrology and behind the scenes, and that's definitely what Scorpio deals with, behind the scene matters. But the saying fortune favors the brave often rings true for people with part of fortune in the first house. It is important for you to be active and in initiative. Be active and initiative. You need to learn to be brave and courageous. Generally speaking, people with this placement can benefit from embracing the traits of Aries, being a go-getter, fierce, pioneering spirit. So, people may be madly aggressive behind the scenes, and it seems like a lot of 8th house activity there with 3 celestial bodies there. So definitely some research there, using the mind and the body, the government and the people, or mother and father, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, communicating things of south node energy and bringing them down to the earth plane. With the positions. Yeah. So I've seen that.
I appreciate you for that. For that gem right there, bro.
Yeah. I was like, read the part of fortune.
Let's see. All right. Oh man. All right, so moving on. We are at Antananarivo, Madagascar. Still June 10th. We have 13 hours, 52 minutes, 40 seconds. And we've got Sun and Luna still hanging there in the 8th. And on the rise here, we have 24 degrees, 51 minutes, Libra. And Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. So if you would look here with us to the 9th house, we have Venus at 9 degrees, 38 minutes, Cancer. And so the ascendant degree is, and I'll quote, unquote, musical. And the ascendant was conjuncting the fixed star Arcturus. And I'll quote, good fortune with many cares and anxieties through own folly. And ascendant was also conjuncting Spica, the fixed star, and quote, happiness, unexpected honor, or advancement beyond natives' hope or capacity. So that's all, that's coming through Venus. That's all coming through the higher learning in the 9th. While we have the sun and the moon, planting the new seeds in the 8th for this. So I'll just bear testimony as that time an unknown artist could have had a breakthrough, or somebody received honors for connecting with people by love through music. Foreign travels with loved ones or a partner. Good news could have came to unexpectedly. And let's see, self gets expressed through higher learning after reviewing the childhood.
Transformation in the home, it's like moving. I don't know what that is. We got Pluto and Saturn in the 4th there, opposite 10th. It's like, oh man, there was some balance and energy there.
Yeah, that Mars looked like it just separated that opposition by a few degrees. You got that Cancer, mother, if you want to call it, and
29th degree.
yeah, critical. And Pluto and Saturn could be bother, reflecting each other. How can you?
Yeah, it was a degree of avid collector. Is the degree that Mars is at. So man, if somebody's 50 cent on Monday, I need that. What you said was like, I need my money by Monday.
Oh man,
I was being an aggressive collector there. Like, hey, need that transformation, that center there, Saturn.
Oh man, you look funny,
I
bro.
need that. I definitely need that.
Yeah, man, run that. All right. What we got? Divide, is at the same position, as the previous, kind of the same, testimony, at the 24 degrees. So just in these areas, man, somebody could have blew up and went viral. Family matters was definitely a part of it. So I'm move on to the next one. Let's see. All right, yeah, I'm still on me. All right, so we're now at Cape Town. We're in South Africa. Still June 10th. 12 hours, 52 minutes, 40 seconds. Sun and Lunar are hanging out in the ninth house. Sun's definitely living where he's at in his natural home house. For the Ascendant, we're at 15 degrees, 33 minutes, Virgo. And Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury, and we have that in the 10th house at 20 degrees, 41 minutes, retrograde. And so the Ascendant degree is at the exaltation degree of Mercury at that 15. So, and Mercury's home in Gemini. So, legal action through writing. Maybe finding some new studies to help escape, a scattered and mundane mindset. Visiting or planning to maybe move to a foreign country. Some people could have been wanting to change jobs due to them just being bored and need some new excitement. Others could have been, learning or improving their skills with hands. And just long-term benefits from short-term actions and wittiness. And I shall yield on that one for Cape Town, South Africa. Peace and love to our brethren everywhere. If you want us, to do a delineation, for where you domicile, comments, send something out to us, man. We'll get you together for Intuition Mondays. Let's see. I think this might be, this will be my last one for me, Brother Benjamin.
Heard that.
Islam. You guys are doing great. Islam.
Gratitude. All right. So, parking the UFO. We're in Cairo, Egypt. We've got at the Ascendant, we had 2 degrees, 59 minutes Libra. As previously stated, Libra is ruled by Venus. And she is in the lovely 10th house, at 9 degrees, 38 minutes. And for this, let's see, it's a short one. Connecting through friendships or relationships that help express our inner self more harmoniously. Mother or father could either help or hinder career aspirations. And I yield on that one, Brother Benjamin.
Job.
Picture this no look past.
Caught mentally. I'll be at Greenwich, June 10th, 2021 on a Thursday, 11:52 minutes or 11:52, 40 seconds. On the rise, we have Virgo, 10 degrees, 24 minutes, and we'll have the ruling planet for that in the 10th house, house of career. And I'll read the delineation of the degree for Mercury. It says it's 20 degrees, 44 seconds here in the Encyclopedia of Astrology. It says Capella Aurigage. I probably should Aurigae. Hierarchus the goat. You have Mars conjunct Mercury when culminating, said to confer martial or ecclesiastical honors and riches attendant by waste and dissipation. It is too far north to conjunct sun or moon or to rise or set. And I was reading that because I was looking at the degrees for the sun and moon as well, the eclipse that's happening in the 10th house. And that is said to contour military and other honors that end in disaster, conjoining sun or moon, blindness, and culminating a forger or swindler. So I would say, like, maybe some fibbing going on pertaining to, the career, maybe. So that was South Node. South Node. South Node Sagittarius. So it could be some not truth, some very jagged talk, maybe. And then
Are we gonna run that joint back up? Boom.
Oh, are we in Sagittarius now? All right.
No, that's still the green. Which here you go. There's the next one for you.
All right.
Shoot a tongue twister in there.
Oh, you like bring it down a little? I just see like the top, like 0 degrees, 29 minutes. See like a crescent of the chart.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I can't see it. Like you bring the chart down, scroll down a little bit, quite a lot of it.
Is that good right there?
No, I think it's probably froze. It's like if you can only see like my forehead up, that's how much of the chart that I see.
Let's see. I stopped the share. Let me come back to the share. All right. You see? You see it? Is it good?
No, it's the same thing. I see this like Greenwich, the natal chart, down to Palladius, and then it's cut off. But I can do it this way.
Yeah, it's definitely.
All right, Greenwich.
Showing mine forward. My end.
Don't worry, brother. I got it. I'll go to I'll find it here. And just listen to my voice. All right. I have it. I'm looking at it through our messages right here. Like I was saying, we were talking about the communication from the 4th house, with the South Node being our old tendencies and the North Node being our better tendencies. So taking those old tendencies again from the 4th and bringing them to our career. So I would say, people during this time in their career could have been some retroactively speaking, I would say like argumentative with some very, you knew what you were saying and standing on what you were saying, but getting maybe a little pushback, So I would say with that going on, don't be, I guess, too militaristic with your approach in responding. I would say, because you don't want to not have a career and you don't want to not have a bad name in the public. So with the sun and moon there, you could be a little blindness per se, with Mercury being kind of close to the sun, in between the sun. Yeah, it's right next to the moon, so it's kind of close to the sun. Yeah, so you could be not seeing things clear, but but you're like kind of like blinded like a pinch, and that's all it takes is like a little spot you don't see to make everything crawl. Kind of like in football, you snap the ball, you look left, but you're not looking right, and you get smacked down. That's kind of like how life could be if you're not in tune and balanced of such. So with that being said, pertaining to your career in the 10th, and this eclipse for the June 21, you're coming forward to basically using that energy to solidify the blindness that you looked over or didn't see, during that time. But I'll use on that one, bro. and I'll just scroll down on my phone.
So
So right here.
Are you on Casablanca now?
No, Iceland.
Okay.
Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. The same chart basically, but you have 0 degrees, 40 minutes, Virgo on the rise, and you have the eclipse happening in the 10th house just as well as Greenwich pertaining to career. But the degree for the ascendant Virgo, 1 minute, 40 seconds, 1 degree, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Which there isn't to be one, but we'll definitely just go to Mercury, the ruling planet there again, the organizing, critical thinking, so your mind and your body are in communication and organizing things pertaining to your career. You can have changed careers and gathering new information about that career to suit you better, So now that you're now in the Sagittarian sun of higher learning, you can use what you had collected in your pertaining to your career in the 10th. Now you can use that proactively in your 10th now, where the Sagittarius energy is of higher learning. And I'll yield on that one.
Yeah, that's intercepted. So you definitely got to go through Scorpio and Taurus to unlock that Gemini Sagittarius energy.
Yo. We on Moor.
Raise the charts, guys. I think that Brother Jag just texted us that the charts can't be seen. All I see right now, I think, is the total solar eclipse in Sagittarius is showing Greenwich, like Greenwich for Greenwich, England, I guess. But we don't see the chart. We just see the top of the chart.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Brother Sean. That's why I was just reading off of my phone. I couldn't share, because that's what I said. I would just read the chart off my phone because I couldn't see the chart Brother Sean had up there. It just showed like the very top part.
Oh, like, all right.
Like from your eyebrows up. So I was just looking at the actual chart on my phone and just saying what I saw. Unless they let me screen share again.
No, I was just saying that Brother Jag had sent the text in the group chat, and it was like, "Hey, man, I can't see the charts," and I was just like, "All right." Well, I was thinking y'all would have saw it, but it's all good. No, and
is it showing now? Is it still?
Oh yeah, I seen it. I was telling Brother Sean, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's showing it. It just says all we see is total solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and we see Greenwich and the top of it, but that's all we're seeing. We're not seeing a whole chart.
It's just like we see
you scroll up
the chart.
Yeah, can you scroll up? Or maybe zoom out, I guess. I don't know.
Double tap.
Maybe click on, it looks like solar eclipse is your slide that's highlighted. So click the next one on the left. And maybe that'll bring it into view.
You see it, Brother Benjamin?
Maybe click on, it looks like solar eclipse is your So did you click on number 2? Did you click on number 2 that says Greenwich? Did you click on that? Highlight it.
My bad, guys.
I just clicked on 2.
And yeah, I don't see it highlighting anything.
It's showing the charts on my screen. I don't know why is the share screen so weird?
It's all good. It's a huge what is it called? Class action lawsuit against Zoom anyway. It was an email that got shared with me or whatever. So once we really look and read what the class action lawsuit is about, we'll see if it's tied in with this.
I don't want to speak too soon, but from my messages from Brother Sean, I sent the charts to my iPad, and I can attempt to share them that way so we can see the charts. I'm scrolling up to the 11th house, or not the 11th, so there's no 11th house delineation yet. but I was on Casablanca and I can physically see the chart here on Casablanca.
Let me try to
you
see if I can maybe screen share it from my phone instead.
All right. Official tissue.
Let's see. Brother Benjamin, say anything now?
Yeah. It's a little, a tad bit.
You might have to turn it landscape. Yeah, that's because it's probably a screenshot. And usually screenshots are pixelated looking. It's crisp.
One second. Let's see.
Believe in just the will for the city.
And for the people that ask, because I was briefly while you guys are getting that together, I was briefly in an Instagram chat and DM, and guys, for the record, I guess we just do this as like a brief little intermission while you guys get the technicalities on that end. However, we are Moorish Americans. We are 5 copper tone males that have decided to do something that's rare amongst copper tone males that aren't calling themselves Negro, Black, colored, and niggers. We have united, and we did it with knowledge. Well, first and foremost, love. All right, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We're being pure heart, being sincere intent. And it's only but so much that we're going to do for those that are not on the path, because we know that we're studying ourselves coming out of a mental consciousness and a mental bondage, right? We're coming out of Egypt, right? So to speak. So a lot of times there are people that are still stuck there and they expect us to answer their questions. I get it if they're probably single mothers and dealing with whatever, but that's not really our concern. Our only concern really is that you see what needs to be done as far as bettering yourself. It's about breath mastery. Astrology is one tool that we use, though, however, to assist in uplifting fallen humanity. We don't owe anybody anything. And, a lot of us have put our own time and resources and energy to be able to provide this. Provide what we do via the platforms that are called your social medias, your YouTube, your Facebooks, your Instagrams. So a lot of times when you even ask us questions as far as what softwares we're using, 9 times out of 10, we don't really want to answer you. However, we can make a suggestion, because the suggestions have been made. There have been 4 to 5 years of pro bono service done for the public via Hasan Ghaziel Bey's Facebook page, the 7 Hill Star Instagram account, the Astrology Street All Rights Reserved YouTube channel. Free pro bono lessons for the entire planet, as well as we ask for LMOs and our tuition exchange for things that we do where we can actually give you our own testimonies and delineations. Brother Sean and Brother Benjamin are the newest as far as the brothers that have joined 7 Hill Star. However, they're in the forefront so early in that certification from the way that I share astrology. They're in the forefront because they have dedicated themselves and they've made a decision with inside of themselves to be sincere about being who they are and being themselves. They didn't come with a spirit of handout. They didn't come with a spirit of kissing my ass. They didn't come with a spirit of trying to impress me. They came with straight up, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I want to do. Yeah, I know that this is how life is in the background, but this is what I want to get done. I respect that. All righty. So for the future, and for those of you that will get this email and probably see this and are listening now, and you have been faithfully supporting us, and I know I tell the truth, so a lot of times me being stern might rub y'all the wrong way. However, in being sincere astrologers that are copper toned here at North America, recognize that we're 5 unicorns. Myself, Brother Benjamin, Brother Sean, Brother Corey, and Brother Terrell Tamari Bey. We're unicorns. Here in the Far East, what they call the West, because we all come from women who do not honor their ancient foremothers and forefathers. And we were able to still allow ourselves to be founded by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, so that we can be able to make a much higher decision in uplifting fallen humanity by giving you guys what some of you guys don't really respect, but some of you guys do. So when we don't answer you according to your dogma, belief system, expectation, and we're not kissing your ass, and you're not liking how we're responding to you firmly and sternly, then recognize within inside yourself that you despise truth and you're still in material consciousness. You're still in mental bondage and sense consciousness. You're in Egypt. And so we're not here to gratify that. We're here to assist you so you guys can ascend. All righty. Allah had chose us to be as handsome as we are, to do what we do, to attract you to see what this information is about so that you can help yourself. All righty. We don't owe you anything. And then maybe eventually some mothers will join us when they decide to really be accountable. So recognize 7 Heel Star and those that giving astrology to be a 7 Heel Star. These are people who are adept in being accountable. And if you're adept in being accountable for real, then you're like the biggest Dundada, so to speak, on the planet. If you can be accountable, anybody that thinks they're gangster are really not. All righty. Those that are really the superheroes, those that really should be feared are us. Why? Because we are rejecting mental consciousness and sense consciousness, because we're really going towards breath mastery. All righty. Don't forget, these brothers are sharp. And I didn't decide for myself to make sure that they could express themselves through 7 Heel Star, because that's all that we have for right now. So people that we even got this information from and before us, they don't even have platforms that should have been provided. All righty. So all you out there, you single moms that want to play your violin and think we should kind of give a shit about your situation, we don't. Not like that. We care in the ways that we're sharing the information. You're going to have to learn how to be accountable. All righty. So go and run and tell your Grand Sheik. Go and cry to Brother Taj. Go cry to Brother Cujo. Whoever you got to cry to, because I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you the same thing. We just been telling it to you straight up, and we've been being light about it. All right. So with that, we bring you back to our regularly scheduled astrological presentation.
Islam, here back in Morocco, the actual Morocco, but we're delineating Morocco, Casablanca right now. And we have on the rise Virgo, 0 degrees, 13 minutes, and we'll have the eclipse in the house of career, the 10th house. And since there's no delineation I could find for the ascendant degree, so I went to the part of fortune, since the part of fortune is consistently in the first house itself. So I'll get to that. If part of fortune in Virgo in your birth chart, but this is the chart for everyone in Morocco, Casablanca. So, escucha por favor. You feel happy finding a specific vocation. You want a calling with which you can be useful to society, and also give a sense of organized purity to your environment. You strive for cleanliness where you live and work, and in how you express your thoughts. And in my opinion, those things all go with the 10th house of career. You got the environment. Your environment is definitely, a career. Well, I'm saying your environment is where you can, establish a career via home, via internet, via building establishment, things of that nature, and organized purity. So to have any type of career, you got to be organized. You got to have a pure heart in what you do, or you won't get the reciprocation that you want. So I'll take us, if we came here and BS you guys and fronted and act like we knew more than we know and not be pure, then we wouldn't get the actual response. It doesn't have to be like a million responses, but the response you want is a sincere one, and those are the most ones, because you may not hit 1,000, but you can hit like one person or 2 people, and those 2 people can click those 1 or 2 million that didn't get it from that one source. So I'll say with the eclipse being there and ascendant being on Virgo, it definitely coincides with organizing, and the descendant being Pisces as well, deal with like emotions and institutions and illusions and things of that nature, and your career. To be lost in your career and not knowing you're going, things of that nature. So finishing up with that, just make sure that your emotions, that your heart and your mind are in what you do pertaining to your career, because as a Virgo rising, you're very analytical. You look at things mathematically, and you're definitely probably going to deal with math and analytical things during any career, no matter what you do. So I'll yield on that, Brother Sean.
Oh, indeed.
All right. Here in Spain, Madrid, we have rising Virgo, 5 degrees, 0 minutes, and we have the eclipse happening in the house of career again. So my people in Spain that are about your buckets, your paper, your pesos, or what have you, let's make sure you're organizing those things correctly. Make sure you're not being having greed when culminating the things that you want, and you're thinking about your environment, your people, your loved ones, because no man or woman is an island. So the man and woman in the 10th house could definitely be, team working and retroactively speaking or communicating with Mercury retrograde there. So you may be slow to say what you want, but when you say what you want or may need, make sure it's in a respectable manner, because you don't want to poop where you make your bread at or make your finances, so to speak. And make sure that's communicated not so harshly with Sagittarius on the south node there, or ruling the 4th house of home. So within your home, make sure things are moderately peaceful. Nothing's perfect, but an attempt at anything can make anything perfect. So before you leave your doorstep, just try to make sure that things are correct, mentally and physically. So when you go out in that Mercury retrograde, you don't think back and regurgitate something that could possibly injure that or injure someone else. Because, we're always about peace, no matter who you are, your arm, leg, arm, head, peace. But I yield on that one, Brother Sean. All right. Here's when Brother Sean was speaking about the 11th house, or no delineation for the eclipse happening in the 11th house. And as I was doing this, I was texting. I was like, "Hey, I don't see one because I have Jupiter in my 2nd house." And it's like, so like I don't typically kind of like to look at the details. Not like I hate it, but how I'm designed, kind of like more bigger picture type thing. So I'll give kudos for noticing that. But we didn't just skip over that. That's why I'm saying that. But for
there
Brazil,
is also slices in our next part for the upcoming.
It's on. Brazil, Brasilia.
Brasilia.
Heard that. Brasilia, once again, June 10th, 2021, last solar eclipse on a Thursday, 0700 hours, 52 minutes, 40 seconds. We have Cancer on the rise, being ruled by the moon. We have Cancer at 6 degrees, 41 minutes, and we'll definitely see what that delineation is to see the shell and how we're looking at the world from Spain, Madrid. Let's see here. Cancer. Here we go. Cancer 5 degrees, degree of sleep and trance. Well, that's 6 degrees. Well, there's no 6 degrees. 5 to 6 degrees. Sleep and trance. So I assume people were definitely, a lot of the planets are on the outside world or above the chart. So there could be a translating to the public. People probably aren't as, attentive as they should be out in the public, pertaining to the degree. And we'll find the moon, which is being ruled by Cancer. Cancer is ruling that degree on the ascendant, and the moon is in the 12th house of undoing or unconsciousness, so that can deal with the subconscious mind. So you could be definitely in a trance, or if you're meditating, or if you did meditate here, you probably fell asleep maybe, and that definitely wouldn't have been good for you, because that's not, so it's healing, but it's not conscious healing. When you meditate, you're consciously sitting there still, things like that. But when you go to sleep, you're not conscious. just flop out. So, make sure on this time when this eclipse is coming up, that sleep trance and those things are at a minimum. You should have more energy, even though that it's technically the colder time and the energy is low, but this is the best time to regenerate and culminate that energy. And 12th house is a great place to do that, because that is the house of spirituality, and reflecting that is a house of service. So you got good energy, then 9 times out of 10 when you go to service someone, they'll have a greater service than like a BS half behind it service that you could give someone. What I'm saying? They're helping their travels amongst this earth plane. That which we all to learn our lessons here according to the Zodiac Constitution. For everyone who has a brain, an arm, a leg, a head, fingers and toes, and such nature of things. But I'll yield on that, Brother Sean, if you have anything else to speak about it.
It's like dreams. Dreams seem big back then.
Oh yeah, because of 12th house there, yeah, and the sleep trance degree.
That might be the last one right here.
All right, we're in the shot. Chicago, Illinois, June 10th, 2021, Thursday, 0500 hours, 52 minutes, 40 seconds. We have 27 degrees, Gemini, 34 minutes, being ruled by that retrograde Mercury in 12th of dreams, unconsciousness, undoing, spirituality, things of that nature, reflecting the house of service. So we have the eclipse happening here. So once again, the mind and the body is in one. So this could be a great, great, great time to reflect on things, reflect on your health, reflect on, the things that you've done and things you want to do in the future per se, which is the right now. So you will retroactively go back to what you did and open your eyes and do that in this very moment. And this very moment that you do that will help the future that is quote unquote coming. But it's kind of like planting that seed and letting the sun and the moon do the rest. And you're like, oh, I totally forgot about what I planted right there. Then you use that, in a proactive way. So you'll take, once again, that south node energy and culminate that into some north node energy, and not trying to force it, because you can't make a seed grow through the ground any faster than it's going to happen. And in life, we need to take the same approach. So with these eclipses, with the sun and the moon coming together like this, that's the unison of basically life that we should hope to stay in. So when it separates, let's not separate with it, mentally. Always try to stay, your mind and your body is one, because that's what helps, you move correctly. Kind of like, we wouldn't be here off of just one side of the energies. We needed the negative and the positive. So you need the sun and the moon, your higher and your lower self, to get the thing in the middle, whatever that may be. But you need both sides in harmony to use that correctly. But I'll yield on that, Brother Sean.
All right. Well, that that wraps up the that wraps up the eclipse that happened in Gemini back in June. All right, so now we're gonna just go ahead and get right into the total solar eclipse in Sagittarius coming up Saturday, December 4th. And I've got houses 1 through 3, 4 through 7. I mean, not 4 through 7, 7 through 9, and Brother Benjamin has 4 through 6 and 10 through 12. So man, we just gonna get on right on into it, get down with the get down. And flip that. All right, so for our first house, we have we're at Greenwich, United Kingdom, and we have Sagittarius on the rise at 9 degrees 57 minutes, and we have Sun and Moon at 12 degrees 21 minutes, first house. And the ascendant, and I'll quote, is at the degree of homicide, and Jupiter at 25 degrees is at the degree of alcoholism, and the second house. All right, so I'll bear a testimony as a time to where it would be cautious to not drink and drive. as it was a time more prone to accidents by wheeled vehicles. Seeds planted about 6 months ago pertaining itself now gets light in the career and status. Opportunities to expand on a new approach to life, money, and priorities. And I also say this, that the sun and Luna is at the degree of, quote, accidents to wheeled vehicles. So everybody just be safe and, just take your time with everything we're doing. We'll get there when we get there. All right, so I'm going to move on next to Brazil. And, sun and Luna still in the first house. We have Scorpio on the rise, 28 degrees, 59 minutes. Mars is at 23 degrees, 40 minutes in the 12th house. The ascendant degree for this, I'll quote, is Brewers. And, my testimony for this is patience when flashes of new ideas or creativity come to mind. Harvesting the seeds from any endings, limiting beliefs from 6 months ago to now expand the higher parts of self. Somebody also could be thinking about starting a brewery business. Let's see, and I'll yield on that one. Let's see. All right. So now we are at Reykjavik, Iceland, December 4th, 2021. We're at 07 hours, 41 minutes, 31 seconds. We have the sun and moon in the second house. I know it's a little difficult to see, but we have Scorpio rising at 13 degrees, 24 minutes. The degree for the ascendant is, I'll quote, air pressure, business. All right, so, still got Mars rocking in the first house. I'll just say for this, finding new ways to use motivation with proper judgment and clarity. People can now be feeling called to be of service to expand personal values. Air business, whether by land or sea, breaking away from the norm physically and mentally. Is the current situation the best one that lets self be creative? So that was for Reykjavik, Iceland. All right, next up, we are in Santiago, Chile, December 4th, 2021 at 04 hours, 41 minutes, 31 seconds. And, you've got the ascendant on the rise at 10 degrees, 41 minutes, Scorpio, now we've got the sun and Luna in the second, Mars still transiting the first. And so for the ascendant, it is at the degree of, I'll quote, neurasthenia. And that is an ill-defined medical condition characterized by fatigue, headache, and irritability, associated chiefly with emotional disturbance. All right, and so for Santiago, the Gemini eclipse that happened in June occurred in the first house. So now we're having this one in the second. And for this, I will say slow down if one has been feeling fatigue or having headaches. News is coming up to help ease the need to be, and I'll quote, all gas and no brake, end quote. Review how one approached life from 6 months ago and, just making new creative adjustments. And just, look out for the neurasthenia. And now I'm sitting here, go check out the post I did for the signs for December, and just check out, it's a slow down time right now. And, all right, I will yield on that one. Let's see. So next, we're at Chicago, also known as Mecca, December 4th, 2021. at 01 hours, 41 minutes, and 31 seconds. So we have Libra on the rise at 8 degrees and 41 minutes. And we have Venus at 22 degrees, 19 minutes, Capricorn, transiting in that fourth house. And the ascendant is at the solar eclipse degree for October 1st, 1940. Venus is between the scholarly degree and governmental authority in music. And for Chicago, the Gemini eclipse occurred for them was in the 12th house in June. So now we're for this eclipse in Sagittarius are in the 3rd house. And I'll bear testimony as to lower communication, travel experiences, and battles fought alone have been understood and are now being transmuted into knowledge and experience for one's own community or neighborhood. An opportunity for past limiting beliefs to be used as a catapult for the passion of higher learning. I'll yield for that one. You got anything, Brother Benjamin?
When I was looking at the degree of Mercury right there, it was not a thing, but it was, or an actual degree, but it was coming off of a degree of dumbness and indecision of 14 degrees there. So like you were saying, in the 2nd house of like slow down and think about what you're doing. Mercury could definitely be that, being in Sagittarius, a fiery sign. So Mercury definitely, your speaking could be ahead of its time, but not in a good way. You know? And then with being, it's not retroactive. It's not retrograde now, but it would have been in coherence with the indecision making with the.
But it was retrograde back in June, if I'm correct, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So now you get that mirror kind of view now.
Yeah, but the sun still conjunct Mercury as well, so you're gonna be clear and loud, and don't be blinded, as well though. Don't be loud and wrong.
All right, so moving on. We're now at Mexico City. All right, so we got the ascendant at 29 degrees, 35 minutes Virgo. And, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so it's sitting in the 3rd house at 15 degrees, 12 minutes Sagittarius. So if I'm standing correctly, the previous Gemini eclipse for Mexico City was in the 1st house. And I'll bear testimony as to a time to make a decision on what the next move is going to be. Good news or an opportunity to now communicate one's thoughts and creative ideas comes to the light after months of studying and applying knowledge and studies from a self approach. Planting new seeds of philosophy, law, and foreign studies around the community with family and groups of friends. And that does it for me. So there you go, Brother Benjamin. On to you, my guy.
As long as we are in Juneau, Alaska. We have Virgo on the rise, 7 degrees, 12 minutes, and that will Juneau,
Brother Benjamin, yeah.
Juneau, Alaska. I stand corrected, with 7 degrees, 12 minutes, Virgo on the rise. And if I remember correctly, that's the degree of dance or dress. I think it's dress, right? Degree of dress.
You said 7 degrees?
Yeah. I'll go there right there. One says degree of dress, 7 degrees, Virgo.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Right. And that ruler within the 3rd house of the home. So you could be definitely dressing, your speech could be pretty fly, I would say, with Mercury being in Sagittarius and degree of dress. So how you dress up your words could definitely help with things pertaining to your home, how you communicate with your father, your mother, maybe your grandfather, maybe your grandmother there. You could be talking to them about things, about what they went through back in the day. You can use that for higher learning. It could be bittersweet, as you got Lilith there in the 10th. pertaining to the career. So, you know, things they could probably speak about, like, hey, when we used to go to work, it was this and this type stuff, you know, so they're comparing how it was then and how it is now, you know, bringing those things into one. And with, I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, I looked up a degree for the North Node there, and it's degree of draftsmanship. And so you got Mercury and Sagittarius, which deal with foreign travel and things and higher learning as well. So I was thinking, you know, within the home, you could be writing something, you know, philosophical, something, you know, pertaining to how you express the higher thinking in yourself, whatever that may be, whatever field you're in, but your draftsmanship toward that could have a lot of energy with, you know, saying your heart, sun, and your mind, the body within the fiery sun, even though the moon is a watery planet. So it'll be like steam almost, but with the fire and the fire with the sun and the sun, you're definitely blazing with that pen, kind of like Brother Sean. He definitely has like 40 to 30 just thoughts like that, you know what I'm saying? So with his draftsmanship for that is incredible. So for the people in Alaska, you know, within the home, you know, get your writing on, your higher learning writing on, and communicate that in the 10th house of your career, or, you know, outside internet space, you know, things of that nature. But I yield on that. Okay. For Oakland, California, the Bay Area, you have Virgo rising, so you got health service, analytical stuff there. You got 10 degrees, 50 minutes, and that ruler is in the 4th house as well. So in Oakland, pertaining to the home, you have a degree of draftsmanship in the 9th house now, North Node. So and that South Node is in the 3rd house. So that aggressive behind the scenes, I would say blog BS talk, you know what I'm saying, slow that down, you know what I'm saying, and change that of hiring. So, you know what I'm saying, go home, you know, once again, talk to your loved ones, your older loved ones, and take that information and use it towards your 9th house. So within that, you know, you can, oh, grandma said this, grandpa said this, and use that in your 9th house. And that'll bring maybe a sudden change in your values with the Uranus there and Taurus. So you be like, oh, that's what that was. You communicated that, and you get like a thought. And you go, okay, cool. Now I'll value this. Now I'll walk in my higher selfness, you know, so to speak, you know, by translating my communication of the North Node in Sagittarius to a more higher intellect communication of travel. You know, so right now that's technically it would be me and Brother Sean speaking again, and then the 9th house right there. So we go higher learning. But then next door is the 10th house, a career. So, you know, technically within what we do, we're speaking about it in higher learning, and it transfers to our career, you know, so to speak, as astrologers. You know, so us speaking day to day about astrology is helping us in our career on the back end, but we're not consciously trying to deal with that in our point right now. If you get what I'm trying to say. But overall, Oakland, make sure your draftsmanship is not about the brothers and sisters who were using their lower energy. Just, you know, put that on pause, because that'll be that, you know what I'm saying? Take another view. Use that draftsmanship to uplift your brothers and sisters while using what they go through, you know? So I'll yield on that. Not to be long-winded about that one. Okay, Honolulu, Hawaii. We have Leo there. 6 degrees, 5 minutes. And we have the eclipse happening in the 5th house of creativity. And we have that's magic and stable homes. I don't think it's gonna stop. So the sun, the ruler of Leo, is in the 5th house of creativity. So the sun is home doing his thing in Sagittarius. So that's some. All right. Where was I? Okay, cool. The sun is in the 5th house of creativity, ruling the ascendant 6 degrees, 5 minutes. And so your communication, your creativity, and your mental capability are all in the 5th house of creativity. So how you take that and balance that towards the 11th house with the group, with Lilith there at 14 degrees, 2 minutes, which is bittersweet. So maybe what you create within the group and you share probably won't be taken how you want it to be taken, which could be bittersweet. But the sweet part of it is that it was great. So you don't look for validation in your creativity from others, whatever response you get, because if you're pure and you know that what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're putting out is something important and substantial that you think it is, then say don't worry about that. Don't look for validation for others. Just create what you want to create of higher learning, because all of those luminaries I'm saying not luminaries, but all those celestial bodies are in the higher learning sign, which is the Sagittarius, but also there's a lower and a higher, so you can take that learning and use it for your own benefit. But one man is no island, or no woman is no island, so make sure you're not being selfish within your creativity, because then it'll definitely be bitter within the group when you communicate it. But I'll yield on that. Oh, 1 second, I'll give you the degree for Leo. I'll be like that.
So the degree for Leo?
Yeah, 6 degrees, 5 minutes. Which is sight, so which is great. So make sure your sight is clear. So the ascendant degree is definitely sight. So the sun is your soul. So make sure your viewpoint, your sight seeing from your soul perspective is clear. We have 2 physical eyes, but then we have the spiritual eye as well. So the sun is definitely your spiritual eye within your creativity. So within your creativity, make sure the point and the sight that you want to be seen is clear within higher learning. So right now our sight is higher learning, and how we're using our soul and our sun energy is to transmute that energy to the group via the internet, like right now. But I'll give on that one, Brother Sean. I'll have it over here since my man don't want to blow this grass everywhere. Papati? Papti?
Papete.
Papete. I said that.
Kind of looks like, it does kind of look like papite or something like that. It does kind of look like that, but I yield.
Papite. Already. Papite, December 3rd, 2021, Friday, holy day. 21, 41, 31. So we have 9:41, 31 seconds. So we look at the ruler of the ascendant, Leo again in the 5th house. So Papete, likewise, your creativity, your communication, and your mind are all on creative things. It could be thinking about the children, creating things for the children. Some of you could be making children possibly, because you got the fire there, you got the mother and the father, communication, and depending on how many, you create, you could have a little group there within the 11th house, So I would say be kind, to be careful with that energy, and know the energies of your partner as well. Communicate the energies of your partner to one another. So when you do want to, intertwine and make a small group of 3, that I don't want to say product, but that the sentient being that is manifested here isn't imbalanced, because it comes from imbalance. Make sure that you're both balanced when creating anything. So when you put it out, it doesn't, be bittersweet, because bittersweet could be unbalanced. So make sure you're communicating clearly and knowing your balance. And there's definitely a position between Lilith and, I would say, the moon. So there were moon, sun, Mercury, and I'm not sure what this a glyph is next to the moon there, but balance that as well. All of those things are important to balance within your creativity.
I think sight. It might be Vesta, Brother Benjamin.
You said Vesta?
Yeah,
Yeah. And Leo is on a homicide degree, but like I said, no doom and gloom, there is no death. So the homicide is mental. You spiritually can be dead. So, you want to spiritually awake yourself, be creative, take that homicidal degree and creatively homicide the thinking that isn't higher learning. So dogma, saying don't travel in Egypt anymore, get out of Egypt, basically. But I'll yield on that, Brother Sean. I was finishing. New Zealand, Wellington, December 4th, 2021, Saturday, 20:41, 31 seconds. We have on the rise Gemini, 13 degrees, 37 minutes. The ruler of Gemini, Mercury, is located in the 7th house of relationships. And I'll say that the eclipse is happening in the 6th house, but you have the sun there on the descendant there in the 7th. But we'll say it's
because
happening
it's jam-packed in there and those extra glyphs in there.
Oh, all right. So it's happening in the 6th house of service, reflecting the house of undoing. So you have the luminaries again in the service. So once again, you could be checking up on yourself, self-check, make sure that self-checking is not something that you're not able to do because you have Lilith there. So, once again, a nick, a burn, or something like that, but any higher degree of inflictions, you definitely should seek higher help because there's nothing wrong with seeking help within others. But once again, make sure that you're not going to the doctor and his tools are resting. And that's not a good sight to have. All help isn't good help, so make sure that you're balancing out the help you need. Sometimes you may not need as much help as you think. You want to slow down and not think retroactively bad all the time, so with the South Node there in the 6th house, you could be, worrying, or those bad habits that you have pertaining to health, transmute that in the 12th. Have a smoothie, meditate, throw on an incense, throw on some, some music, things of that nature. So if you're feeling bittersweet or things of that nature, self-service yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. But once again, like if you got something extremely detrimental, don't be stubborn, get out there and get the help that you need. And I yield. That's what. Ready for Suba? Was that 29 degrees, right? 29 degrees, Gemini. Right. Suva, Fiji. We have Gemini on the rise, 29 degrees, 3 minutes, and that celestial body ruling that ascendant is Mercury again, and the eclipse is happening in the 6th house of service, and the degree delineation is degree of avid collector. So in service we'll say collecting. So what do you collect in service? You probably collect information, you collecting funds, thoughts, all of that to communicate towards the 12th or the group or the institution. Like you're answering phones, things of that nature, getting things done. And then you take all of that stuff and put it in your 12th house. So college, community, or college, a store, the mall, government building. If you're dealing with legalese issues, you can be writing things of that nature, servicing yourself through jurisprudent practices. But make sure that you're clear and on your intent in doing that, because you can have a bittersweet reply, because you have Lilith there in the 12th house of undoing. So whoever you're speaking and communicating to, y'all cannot be seeing eye to eye, even though your mind and your body are balanced in how you speak, you're pure and know what you want, but just because you're pure and know what you want, others may not want that for you. But that's not to hate them or anything. They have their own, songs to solve. So that's another way for you to creatively, communicate that. Maybe it's another person you need to talk to. That could be the balancing of that service and collecting the information you need to serve yourself. So I would say this overall thing in this eclipse right here is culminating the things you need pertaining to service. So I'll yield on that one.
All right, well, let's see. Back to me. All right, so all right. All right, so we are now at the date of Guam, December 4th. It's 18 hours, 41 minutes, 31 seconds. We got the ascendant at 10 degrees, 43 minutes, Gemini. And we got Mercury cruising along in the 7th house. All right, and for the ascendant degree for that was, I'll quote, a fortunate degree. And for that, I'll yield a fortunate time to turn disagreements, legal and lawful matters, and creative endeavors into a death and rebirth process. for transformation of relationships and contracts. And that's all I had for that one. I was keeping it short. So moving along, we're at Port Moresby. I think that's Papua New Guinea. On December 4th, 17 hours, 41 minutes. And, we got the Ascendant at 4 degrees, 11 minutes, Gemini. You got Mercury in the 7th. The Ascendant degree is our quote, degree of aviation, of mental stability. And just the last eclipse for, that area was in the 5th house, now it's at the 7th. And what was also interesting was the vertex was, reflecting the midheaven. Let's see. So this, I can say, just balance the mind for now, and just balance mind and body, and get your mental together. And once your mental's together, things will start coming into the physical more. Communicate with your relationships or any business partners, just find a midpoint between it and just properly and harmoniously communicate it so that everybody wins.
I'll add to your wisdom.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Serving those around you and being useful is great for people with their vertex and Virgo, as you feel best when you know you have purpose. So within the home, so make sure you help around the house or even yourself, so for sure. That's all I'm with you. Critical degree. If people don't have anything to do, you go wild or go be fidgety. So when you have something to do that's purposeful, do that.
Or just just practice on the multitasking. They want to listen to music and write, just whatever helps you.
Port Moresby.
All right, so let's see what we got next. We are now at Hong Kong, China. December 4th, 15 hours, 41 minutes. We got Taurus on the rise at 11 degrees, 46 minutes. And this was an interesting one. So the Ascendant is at the degree of experimental scientist. And that Venus is ruled by, Venus rules Taurus, and Venus is in the 9th, and that is at the degree of authority. So, it can be somebody experiment, maybe in an authority position or something like that, and maybe want to try something out new, or plant the seed for something for the collective. The previous eclipse for Hong Kong, when it was in Gemini, was in the 7th house, and it could be in a 10th time for relationships, radical emotions, steady activity pertaining to light studies about mysteries is at the forefront. And I'll yield the floor for that one. I didn't have too much for that. All right, so next we're at Jakarta, Indonesia, and at 14 hours, 41 minutes, 31 seconds. Give me 1 second, Brother Benjamin.
Here's one. 26,
My bad, bro. All right, so let's get right back to it.
Oh, great.
All right, so Jakarta, Indonesia. All right, so the Ascendant is at 26 degrees, 19 minutes, ruled by Mars, and the Ascendant is at, I quote, a military degree. The last Gemini eclipse for this area was the 6th house. So maybe there could be a military contract being signed, a building of a new army, and maybe just transforming the work, health, and service given into a higher expanded state to better serve self and the people.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got next. All right, so next we are pulling up to Kabul, Afghanistan. We're at 12 hours, 11 minutes, 31 seconds. The Ascendant is at 11 degrees, 27 minutes Pisces in the 12th house. Anciently ruled by Jupiter, modernly by Neptune. So, we've got the 12th and 1st house axis, while we have the Sun and Luna in the 9th house. I can just say for this, a time to expand the higher learning and knowledge that comes from breathing and being in solitude, and just dreaming about ways to overcome any limits and beliefs or whatever you feel like is holding you back in the subconscious. And then if you look, you got Neptune, reflecting the vertex. So maybe somebody can want to manifest a dream partner, or just manifesting ways to be better in business with themselves and with their partners. Jupiter in Aquarius, I think that is still at the astrological area. I think it was 22 to 26 degrees Aquarius, if I'm correct.
22 to 28.
22 to 28?
Yeah.
So definitely, with just people, as Jupiter makes that transit, people will be looking more into astrology, not looking at it as a spooky kind of downplay type of ordeal, but as a way to really, know who you are and, who am I, what's my purpose, how everyone can better serve everyone. Some people are here to
could that be like 7 hill stars?
Unconditionally love and serve others, and some others are just kind of got some lessons to learn about self. So everybody's just here learning lessons.
You could be coming to 7 hill star, 12th house, internet, and Jupiter expanding your higher mind for astrology via internet.
Via social media, Saturn ruling over 11. So where you at?
That's the executive
right there. I want to past the 12. So just male or authority figures, just giving information on just our experiences from what we see to break any limitations, because everybody has their own story and is going through something. So there could be something that you hear that you're like, oh, that's what's going on, or this is what building up. So just like Kazemi's about to hit think a few days. So just be patient, that all storms turn into sunny days. Yield on that one. And
so like what Puck said, every dark night has a
keep
bright day, something like that.
All right, so next we are at Karachi or Karachi, Pakistan. Karachi. Still, kind of the same for, the last delineation. So, if you can remember your dreams, write them down, or, sometimes it's to get away and maybe, visualize, maybe saying some mantras, doing visualizations, even if, you want to meditate, close your eyes and, just imagine, you can that's a good way to help, so, and, then, the sun and moon, Luna are in the 9th. So somebody, could be looking to travel foreign or want to pick up some, foreign knowledge. So I think that might be it for me. Yeah. And
I
I'll
think
give it on that one, Brother Benjamin.
add to your Islam, to add to your wisdom.
Yeah,
on
go
the
ahead, bro.
last affiliation. I think you can remember your dreams by putting your face on your pillow.
Really?
I'm saying I heard that somewhere. I think it's like I want to say no, or at least like that's like a text that was I seen. You can't remember your dreams. Turn over and put your face on your pillow. If I'm being correct, I've heard that somewhere. And then
I think that's an old statement and prophecies of Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali.
All right, yeah. So yeah, so just put your face on your pillow if you can't remember your dreams.
Also, let me further assist more. I've seen where like try not to like eat before bed.
Oh man, I could definitely gotta practice that. My goodness gracious. Like I'll have like a bag of something like in the bed. It's terrible.
Stashed.
It's terrible, man. I'll roll over here something on my bike. Oh man, I finished that. Woo. And I was like, it's worse. It's horrible. But here we go. Madagascar, Antananarivo.
Antananarivo, maybe.
Antananarivo, stand corrected. Madagascar, Antananarivo. We got 10:41, 31 seconds. On the rise, we have Aquarius, 28 degrees, 16 minutes. The ruler of that sign is Saturn. They're in the 12th at the degree of executive presidential. So we know that the presiding officer is you in your mind. So from that standpoint, and you looking at this world we live in, and in Madagascar, how is it again, Brother Sean?
Antananarivo. That's what I'm told.
Antananarivo. So in your 10th house of career, using your executive presiding officer or your mind, opposite the 4th house. So you're communicating your South Node tendencies in your home, but when you step out of your home, you want to definitely balance that and use that Sun, Moon, Mercury energy and North Node energy retrograde energy in the North Node to step up your higher learning. So when you think back, what I'm saying, you're thinking back retroactively, collecting information that is purposeful. You're not retroactively thinking back to something that's a lower level, kind of like common talk, which is not great, but we could get caught up in common talk and get caught in that level of just thinking, or Egyptian thinking. You know what I'm saying? So we're like higher level beings. We needed this lower nature to help out the higher nature. So look at your 4th house as a step up to your 10th, of speaking highly of yourself, of others, of the world, and having an overall philosophical view of how things are to be and how are they to come, with Saturn being kind of the puppet master of all those things. So you may seem quote unquote harsh, quote unquote pompous, quote unquote, Thanos, but some things are inevitable, and that's kind of hard for people to swallow. But life is life, and the sun will always burn you, and that's just something you're going to have to roll with and embrace, and not just take, but embrace. And there's nothing wrong with embracing things. You embrace the pack of the wind. You embrace like stumping your toe on something. Things of that nature. So just controlling your energy from what you create in your home, because all of the tendencies we have are created in our home. So make sure those South Node tendencies are put in the trash in the home, and then you step out, you're picking people up because you've already picked yourself up within yourself in your home. All kudos to Saturn there, making sure that you're seeing clear and you're doing clear and you're keeping yourself to your word and others to theirs. And I'll yield on that, Brother Sean.
I was just gonna add, like Egypt is like the hood. It's cool to stop through there, but you don't want to stay there. You got to leave at some point.
That's real. That's real. Wow.
So,
yeah, stuck in the hood. That's hard. Wow, Egypt is like the hood, man.
Or you gotta say the hood, just like somewhere where you just you probably should. It's cool, but you don't need to stay there.
Yeah, you can quote unquote F around, but it's okay, cool. What's we actually doing here? Delineation for Dubai, December 4th, 2021, Saturday. Aquarius on the rise again. We have 25 degrees, 28 minutes. So that's again the astrological degree. again, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, from 22 to 28 degrees. So once again, higher learning, and what's ironically higher than the stars and the moon and all those things? Nothing. So technically, we're kind of in the energy of the astrological degree, because you'll have Brother Sean and me on Monday, then you have the other brothers on Wednesdays, and then most likely all of us Friday and or Thursday, what I'm saying, giving you the zodiac constitution, which is for everyone that is incarnated on this planet, whether we like that or not. We definitely have to abide by those rules. So we'll go to rules, and we'll go to 10th house, career, where all the rules are, So if you don't follow the rules, you technically won't have a career. And then if you're reflecting that in the home, there are rules in the home as well. So the rules that you make in your home are most likely the rules that you'll carry out into the world. Although the institutions and things you may come into within the world may alter your rules within your home, but that's a great chance to balance out and see what you can adjust within the rules you have for yourself that you created within your home, and you've taken out and learned from the outside world pertaining to higher learning. Because you always should take whatever you get and use it for higher learning, whether that be quote unquote bad, quote unquote good. Put it in your stash of eclipsing those energies and making them one. So don't look at things as quote unquote separate. Look at separate things and make them whole. So right now, the eclipse in the 10th house, according to your career, you can look at it as, the things pertaining to your career could be cluttered, but try to look at them, as a whole, because you have technically one job, but you could be doing multiple things from this one job pertaining to your career. So I would say take this time and integrate all of the quote unquote madness pertaining to your home and your career, and balance that, and be philosophical in that as well, because the sun is in Sagittarius. So whatever you do, try to toss a little life lesson in there. We all need one, whether you've been here for 100 years or 2 years, we all need a life lesson. We all need a gem to help us, get to the next level of our ascension. But I'll yield on that one, Brother Sean. All right, we're in, this is South Africa. All right, we're in South Africa, Cape Town, December 4th, 2021, Saturday. 09:41, 31 seconds. We have Aquarius on the rise again. 7 degrees, 35 minutes. And there is technically no delineation for 7 degrees, 35 minutes, but I would say it'd be closer to 8 degrees. And that's the cusp of the 25th lunar mansion. Me personally, I don't know much about the lunar mansions and things like that per se just yet, but Brady, you have anything about that? About the 25th lunar mansion? But you know much about it. It's not that big of a deal, but I was looking at the degree for the Ascendant, and I couldn't find one, but it's closer to that, whatever that may be. That could be the energy towards the chart, and we'll look for Saturn, the ruler of the Ascendant. They're in the first house.
I can pull it up if you want, or either or.
Oh yeah. I don't mind. I'll keep going while you pull it up or whatever.
Oh, it's
about
going.
So I definitely gotta get into the little magic parts.
Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up off screen. Might have just read it for you. Let's see. Search. Here we go. Mention. All right. Which one did you say?
The 25th lunar mansion.
All right, I'll scroll down to it real quick. 25th. It is good for sieges, seeking fights, taking revenge on enemies. Good for safety and travel, but causes delay. Also good for fortifying buildings. Bad for marriage, planning, partnerships. Let's see, mansions concentrated in Capricorn and Aquarius, the signs of Saturn. This mansion focuses hard on destroying resources, but is also capable of protecting one's own resources from the same fate.
Oh, Islam. So with that being said, we'll look at Saturn there, and Saturn definitely will protect against all of those things that could transpire with that degree. So you could be looking at some type of expansion, and then it could be affected by the 25th lunar dimension. But with Saturn there and at the degree it's in, which is the executive presidential degree, so when the pendulum is swinging and it doesn't seem to be looking into your favor, Saturn can be there to restrict, have structure yourself. Saturn itself is resources, or your resources and status and things of that nature, and land. So, and your land is technically your body as well. So you want to probably not gain weight, but you probably could be wanting to structure your actual vessel, pertaining to how you want it to be in the world. And we'll have that eclipse there in the 12th house, or not in the 12th, in the 11th house, I stand corrected, being ruled over, let's say, by Sagittarius or Jupiter. So that higher learning there, once again, you got the sun, the moon, Mercury there. So you have the mind, the body, and communication. And I would say distance travel, since you have Mercury in the 11th. So you could be going to maybe a football game, basketball game, but still the quote unquote holiday. So you could be traveling long distance to see others, but you would probably want to be careful traveling with, let's see, 4th house Uranus. So, maybe there'd be sudden changes in, the planes, because you got like values or in the ground and things of that nature. So I don't want to say like accidents and things of that nature, but the sun and the moon are at accidental wheel degree. So you want to make sure when you're traveling that, your tires are good, you got gas, your oil's tight, that other drivers are doing what they need, or other travelers are doing what they need to do when, commuting back and forth. So with that being said, once again, just have your mind and your body together within the group while communicating, and balancing that with the communicating of the creativity. So now you have the luminaries reflecting to the 5th house. So now everybody's creating mentally via internet, via group, down into the actual creation. So balancing, whatever higher learning, whatever higher teaching, whatever higher creation that you want to make for others, children, even actually all children, but for like younger children and things of that nature that'll be, growing up kind of in the environment you were, but you could be attempting to change that through creativity in the group. Like I'll take my brothers and ourselves, like we're taking our 5th house creativities and putting them in the 11th house and pertaining that to higher learning. So, 7 Hill Star is probably the number one higher learning institution that you could get, as far as your copper tone, no tone, anything, that creativity will help you. And with having your sun and your moon and your Mercury all in, harmony, you quote unquote can't lose, even if there seems to be a loss. But overall, I would say what Brother Sean explained, this is some energy that isn't like doom or gloom, but you definitely want to cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure you're using your Saturn for the good of humanity and not quote unquote the bad, because Saturn isn't good or bad. Like I'll say Brother Jag shared with us once before, if you're doing what you need to do, your mom ain't gonna pop you in your booty. You know what I'm saying? So I like to keep that in mind. So Saturn is like that, really your pops or your grandpa. If you doing what you need to do, you ain't gonna get that spanking. You get like a head nod or okay, cool, or a little guidance within you doing quote unquote what you need to be doing, because you always can be critiqued. So I'll just take critiqueness, with a grain of salt. Don't blow up, balance your creativity and how you deal with that within when you're typing online, or whether you're talking via, social media, anybody. Just take that, calm down, and make sure there's always balance and peace in whatever you do. Egypt, Cariel. We have Capricorn, 25 degrees, 7 minutes on the horizon, and we'll look for the ruler of that sign is Saturn. Saturn is located still in the 1st house in Aquarius. So once again, we have self-discipline, we have self-status, we have self-structure. Then we have Jupiter there helping as well. So within your expansion, there's some structure there, so you're not all over the place. You're making sure that everything that you put out via internet, via phone call, is definitely going to strategically expand what you're doing. So right now you could definitely be poised, but you definitely got to balance that. So be very critical, with the opposing sign there, Virgo. So you want to be critical, make sure your hands on. So you'll find your Mercury there in 11th house again. They're sharing it with the sun and moon opposite the 5th house. So once again, you're taking that structured expansion via the group, analyzing it, sharing it with your peers, communicating that, then balancing that with however you want to construct that and make it a physical thing within the 5th house, But once again, you got the retrograde bittersweetness right there. So while you're communicating, and the sun, the moon, and Mercury are all close together, particularly the sun and the Mercury there, so you can be clear, but you don't want to be pushy. You don't want to be too overbearing, because it's in Sagittarius, and that is some very strong energy if it's not used correctly. You could be, having that microphone screaming at the group, telling everybody what to do, or you could be, loud because the area is loud. So nobody's tripping on you being loud because the area is loud. Be self-aware of those things like that, because you don't want to cut off the flow of the creativity within the group. And I'll yield on that.
Indeed, bro. All right. I think we are down to the last two.
It's on Casablanca, Morocco. We have Sagittarius 16 degrees, 8 minutes on the rise. I will find its ruler in the 2nd house of possessions is there, 25 degrees, Aquarius 50 minutes. And we'll look at the eclipse right here in the 12th house. 12th house of undoing, spirituality, institution, things of that nature. We have the sun and the moon there. So the mind and the body could definitely be, on the south, in the southeast right here, that'll be like sunrise. So that's a great time to reflect. You want to go outside and do some mantras and things like that, because this energy is some great energy. It doesn't come around too often. So you want to make sure you get up and get out and serve yourself to that energy. So you're using collecting some north node energy that probably you were culminating some south node energy within the workplace. So you're meditating maybe before you're headed off to make ends meet and things of that nature, by making your mind and your body one within spirituality work. And you have Mercury there in the 1st house as well. So communicating to self, and what better way to communicate with self than to meditate. And in the 6th house there, you have the south node again, like I was saying, retrograde. So those south node tendencies need to be transmuted into higher things. So no better way to collect those through meditation. And I would say seriously, strictly focus on that, especially with Sagittarius on the rise, and that deals with spirituality and Jupiter and expansion of things like that. And you can definitely expand all of you if you take a step back and then look over the horizon instead of trying to be so close up on things and being so close up on life. And sometimes when you're so close up on life, you tend to look over things. So try to balance this south node energy within the 6th house and transmute that to higher learning within your mind and your body. So heal yourself through that way. And I'll yield.
So yeah, that north was in the 6th, Brother Benjamin. That south was in the 12th.
Oh, thank you so much. So I'll reverse that. The south is in the 12th. So those south node energies, you can meditate and use them and transmute them into your workplace or the house of service, however you want to look at it within yourself or to others, but make sure that you're taking those lower desire tendencies and using them for the greater of good. So go around and cook people's food with fire instead of burning their house down. Thank you for that correction, Brother Sean.
No problem,
bro. Spain, Madrid, once again, December 4th, 2021, Saturday, 0800 hours, 41 minutes, 31 seconds. Sagittarius, 15 degrees, 29 minutes. And we'll go 16 degrees. Sagittarius for the horizon, since it's kind of, I would say closer to 14 and 15. So we'll go 14 degree of dumbness and indecision. And so with the sun and moon right there on the 12th, that could be some great time to work on that. So with the South Node correctly in the 12th as well, so that dumbness or indecision thinking that you could be having, we can meditate on that, and, you know, and transmute that and balance that within your hustle house and your service and how you, you know, go in the world and how you do things, and you're making clear decisions, and your decisions won't be quote unquote bittersweet with Lilith there. You know, you don't want to, you know what I'm saying, ruin your finances by proactively spending them when you weren't supposed to. And with I would say Mercury in the first house there in Sagittarius, that could be self-spending, because Mercury deals with, you know, commerce and things of that nature, and Sagittarius deals with like travel and fire and things like that. So you could be aggressively around town doing some self-shopping that you probably don't need per se. So I would say definitely meditate on the things that you need and then not the things you want. And those things sometimes can mirror. But I think I would say toothpaste is more important than, you know, Kool-Aid packets. I know that seemed like some wild comparison there, but, you know, it'd be like that sometimes. You know, you'll have this, oh man, ooh, but those spontaneous, you know, decisions like that could definitely create some dumbness. And you like, oh man, because one indecision can lead up to another indecision, because how you practice is how you play. So the things that you normally do, try to take your time and to digest that. Like we said, you know, nothing happens overnight, even though the sun comes up overnight, but we all can't physically be the sun. You know, we gotta be the example of that. You know, we all can do the thing that Jesus can do, but we have to live in reality as well. None of us are like a floating gas giant in the sky. So while we're here on Earth, tangibly, we can be that gas giant to others, whether that be expanding their mind, you know, expanding things in their home, you know, helping them build something they have, you know, whether it be something on the internet, something tangible, you know, like a house, a building, since it's within the 12th house, you know, you could be helping someone service that way. So they're not feeling bittersweet about what they're trying to create, you know, saying via institutions of the 12th house, because the sun and the moon are there. So the mind and the body are focused on behind the scenes spirituality and unconscious things. So I would say people that are working on those things for other people, you know, would like sincere help. And I'll yield on that.
It's like a time to take up it's like new beginnings, you know, maybe teachers, or, you know, finding a counselor, a therapist, astrologer, you know, to start helping one align oneself.
Yeah, and the eclipse energy is new beginnings as well. So, you know, you could definitely start something fresh with a higher purpose in mind.
This so start charging that. So I guess on that note, that concludes, you know, our presentation. You know, definitely go to the website 7hillstar.com to just check out. There's plenty of things on there. My mental magician report. You know, you have your astro calendar. You know, instead of just having a regular plain old calendar, get you an astro calendar. It tells you what's going on. You know, so that you know what's going on, so you know how to like properly deal with it. You know, it's like, okay, it's like I got my Mercury, my mental, you know, with a hard aspect with another planet. Okay, let me just stay calm and centered, even though times are going to be trying. You know, it don't always work. You know, you still might spaz here and there, but as you know how to keep working with things, you know, you can be more in tune and harmony. You know, 7hillstar.com. You know, #Astro Fortune Cookies. You know, come holler at us, you know. We here, you know, we just gonna continue, you know, to keep giving our, you know, delineations, you know, for the people. You know, it just feels good to just give the information out and put it out there. And you know, so I'm definitely I think I sent Brother Benjamin, I sent you some stuff, you know, I just posted back in June, you know, when the planets went retrograde. So just from back then in June to now, how they're about to come out of retrograde is definitely something, just to look at and be focused.
You can definitely see it. Like you were saying, like going back and looking at the classes about where the planets were. So like if you know a planet was in this certain position, that would affect your thinking in that time frame. So now that the planets have progressed, you can see like, okay, cool, how is that affecting my mental now? That became that south node, north node energy sort of telling you, taking that what it was like retroactive and pulling it up to the forefront. Like, oh, okay, I can use this in my higher learning. I can use this in my learning. You definitely have more skill sets mentally then than now, wherever you are. So like, definitely go back and see the tendencies and what the planets were in that time period, June or whatever it may be. So now you go, okay, cool, I can see what's happening now. You can, it's all like not tendencies, but patterns. Like you said, you will flop off or pop off, but what made you pop off last eclipse that, that situation comes around again, like how you assess it, knowing your Mercury or whatever, and maybe according to aspects.
Indeed, man. Yeah, we just appreciate everybody for, showing up, paying attention, watching. We're gonna be reposting it every day, because we got 3 days before the 4th and 3 days after when the effects will be felt. Still, months after. This is just most immediate. So, I figured, hey, let's go ahead and get this knocked out early during the week. But yeah, on that note, I don't have anything else. I'm probably about to go get me some food, man. My stomach went over here growling. I had to mute the mic a few times. The background, get a little baby bear in the back.
Yeah, I think I think on a small fast, like when the sun came up yesterday at like 6:13 or something wild. I was like scavenging something I had because that was gonna be my last meal until the sun rose today. I was like, man, it was definitely a challenge, but that could like help as well. You know what I'm saying, with your discipline and starting something new.
Yeah, I like that fast food before I do anything.
Yeah,
like whether I'm just writing or working, like it keep a clear mind. But after I'm done,
because the digestive system be doing that whole like, it's like a machine. So we don't really control that. So if you're trying to do something, your stomach is like, 12:30 lunchtime somewhere. You're like, man, calm down a little bit.
Yo, son, we ain't even ate.
Since y'all speaking about that too, to put it out there, this is starting at 17:44 today, which is 5:44 p.m. Eastern, till about 15:44, which is 3:44 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. It is the Ekadashi Tithi, so it is the 11th 12-degree set after the moon's full moon, after the full moon. So usually the 11th TT is when you may want to abstain from grain or things like that. Now that's practice. It's called as a Ekadashi fast. However, what I think is actually happening there is just that what's going on with the moon and our bodies, partaking in grain is just, at that moment, it's just not the best. It just seems like it's not best to deplete our water. So try to do things where you can keep your water and go for the grains and rice and stuff like that, I guess, after 15:44 tomorrow. And that's kind of what I was saying. So usually before the Ekadashi starts, like today it's at 17:44, they usually, people usually practice eating their last bit of grain, 4 hours before. So probably like around now, people would be like, or a couple hours ago, people would be kind of finishing up getting their last little grain in or whatever. So it wouldn't be like in their digestive once the Ekadashi Tithi hits. But the Ekadashi Tithi, again, from today, from 17:44 till tomorrow at 15:44. I yield the floor, beloved brothers. Y'all did excellent, man. As always, this was great. Islam.
Indeed, gratitude, right?
Pro tip there from Brother Hasan.
Brother Hasan.
You just hear him, guys. When I was like, it's like you just hear that voice, that faint voice in your head. That's what I was telling you to stay away from that grain.
So yo, don't do that boat rice today, son.
Where's brother? It's like stay away from the grain.
You remember Courage Cali Dog instead of return the slab? Don't eat the grain.
Can't imagine how it was.
About to get in on this rest of this chili, though. But yeah, peace and love, bros, and man.
Peace and love, man. Thank you for having me.
Man, another Intuition Monday's done.
Yeah, guys, I was thinking about going in a little later on anyway. I don't know if it'll be today or whatever, but like I just, like you guys, do your thing, but here I is. But with the Quran and the things that have been going on with the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, knocking that out. So that's my next thing that I really kind of want to share from my heart, just to say. But other than that, man, I've been doing a lot of studying, bro. A lot. Like I need to shave. I think I'm about to just stop with the beard. You guys keep doing your thing on the beard. But with me, you guys know after a while, I'm just like, I gotta go back and look and feel like me.
Feel like Brother Benjamin, man.
Yeah, I mean, but it's all good. It's really no worries. Not even y'all hilarious. I'm not even knocking, but y'all go and eat, man. Do y'all thing. Thank you all so much for joining my beloved pros again, joining all of us here at 7hillstar.com. Namaste to you all. Islam. Peace and love.